This story starts with the main character, Rude, talking about how adventurers have different roles in their party. He calls himself the tank and says that the tank's job is to take all the hits from enemies and protect his harem. He believes this role is essential but often goes unnoticed, and he's here to tell the tale of how he became the main character. Then we see Rude daydreaming about his younger sister, Manisha. He's so obsessed with her that it's creepy. His teammate, Neen, calls him out for making weird faces at the guild. Rude says sorry, but Neen figures he's probably fantasizing about his sister again. Rude wonders how she knows, and Neen basically says she's known him long enough to recognize his weird sister obsession. Neen comments on Rude's strong affection for his sister and suggests he show interest in something else for a change. Rude asks what else he should be interested in, and Neen suggests romance. Rude quickly dismisses the idea, saying no one is cuter than his sister, Manisha. Neen insists she's serious, but Rude explains he doesn't have time for anything else right now. He reveals that Manisha has an incurable disease, and his only hope is to find the secret treasure of the Labyrinth, rumored to grant any wish. However, he feels it's impossible, especially after his recent embarrassing performance. Neen encourages Rude not to be so hard on himself, reminding him that he did his job as a tank during their recent dungeon dive. She points out that he didn't even get hit and mentions his remarkable absorb shield, which has a value of $99.99, the highest ever seen. She praises Rude as an exceptional tank and assures him that his efforts are greatly appreciated by the party. A guy named Kiglis shows up at the guild, and it surprises everyone because he's a famous hero. Kiglis talks to Neen and Rude, and we find out they're in the same party. Neen greets the twins, Lilia and Lily, and Kiglis introduces two new members to Rude and Neen. Neen mentions that the rules of the Labyrinth only allow parties with up to 6 members, but now they're a party of 7 with the new additions. Kiglis says they'll be back to 6 soon and kicks Rude out of the party. Rude's wondering why, and Kiglis tells him he's a useless tank. Kiglis says that Rude's shield lost power way too quickly yesterday, and that's why he's getting the boot. Neen explains that Rude was doing his job by blocking enemy attacks, but his shield was still losing power, and they don't know why. Kiglis thinks it's because Rude's skills are messing with his shield, especially his 2 skills with unknown effect. Neen admits that not all skills are good, but they're not sure if that's the real problem. Kiglis says they could have died because of Rude's issues, so he's out. He introduces the new members as evasion tanks who can dodge enemy attacks while fighting, unlike Rude, who can only defend. Rude decides to accept being kicked out and tries to leave, but Kiglis stops him. Kiglis tells Rude they're not done talking, and he takes Rude's sword as compensation for their lack of profit yesterday. Kiglis leaves, and Lilia tells Rude she knows he's competent and wishes him luck before leaving too. Neen holds onto Rude and apologizes for not being able to help him live up to her expectations when she invited him to join her party. Rude apologizes back, and Neen asks if this is really goodbye. Rude explains that he and his sister live in Avancia and invites her to visit them sometime. He won't always be home, but he plans to live with his sister from now on. He looks forward to seeing her again and wonders what to do next. He realizes he can't go back to Avancia just yet and wonders if Kiglis was right about his unknown skills draining his shield without him knowing. He thinks that would be a terrible skill to have and wishes someone could use their identify skill to figure it out, but those skills are super rare. Then he overhears a group of D-rank adventurers talking about an escort mission to Karas, which is close to Avancia. Rude asks if he can join them on that job, and they want to know his adventurer rank. Rude suddenly remembers that he's still an F-rank adventurer because he spent all his time in the Labyrinth, and he's hesitant to admit his low rank. However, one of the girls in the party recognizes him from the hero's party. They agree to let him join them after hearing this, and Rude tries to tell them his rank, but the merchant they are supposed to escort arrives. The party members inform the merchant that they've gained a new member, and the merchant says it's okay but won't increase their pay. They set out on their journey, and Rude regrets missing the chance to reveal his rank. He feels like he's deceived them, but there's nothing he can do about it now. As they travel, the party faces many challenges along the way. After a few days, they are almost at their destination, Karas, but a thick fog surrounds them. The merchant suggests stopping for the night, but Rude feels something is wrong. He believes they should continue to Karas since they're close and can watch out for ambushes. Rude halts the wagon when he senses something ahead, and the others ask if it's a monster. Rude mentions it could also be bandits and goes to investigate. He spots a shadowy figure, and as the fog clears, he sees it's a scared little girl. Noticing that no one else is around, he doesn't think it's a trap. He approaches the girl and assures her he won't harm her. He notices a gem around her chest. A forest snake appears, and Rude tells the girl to hide. The adventurers believe they can't defeat such a monster, and the snake attempts to attack them. Rude uses his provoke skill to get the snake's attention. The snake attacks him with poison, but Rude manages to block it with his shield. The The next attack hits him, but Rude is determined not to die here, as it would make his sister sad. He asks the adventurers to grab their weapons and fight, emphasizing the need to work together. Rude promises to block all of the snake's attacks and urges them to trust in their strength. This inspires the adventurers, and they attack the snake. The snake prepares for a deadly strike, but Rude manages to block it, and together they defeat the snake. The adventurers credit Rude's help for their success, and they are pleased with their accomplishment. Rude tells the adventurers that they won because they performed well and suggests they start carving up the defeated monster. Meanwhile, he goes to check on the girl. Rude asks her if she's injured and if she has a place to go. The girl says she doesn't have anywhere to go, and Rude invites her to come with him. He explains that he's headed to Avantia, and she agrees to accompany him. Rude realizes she can't continue traveling dressed as she is. The merchant kindly gives the girl a dress as a thank you gift for saving him. Rude asks her to change into it, and the merchant wonders if she's a slave. Rude speculates that she might be a homunculus, beings that serve humans as slaves. However, they usually don't travel alone. Rude explains that she must have special circumstances, pointing out that slave traders wouldn't venture deep into a dangerous forest like this one. Moreover, she wasn't wearing a slave collar. Rude decides to look after her for now. The scene shifts to Rude bidding farewell to the adventurers after completing his escort job. They try to recruit him into their party, but he declines, saying he needs to find the secret treasure. The adventurers mention that the secret treasure can grant any wish and create homunculi. They express their dislike for homunculi, describing them as emotionless and dispassionate workers. Rude notices that their conversation upsets the girl he rescued and intervenes. Later on, while traveling, Rude realizes they haven't introduced themselves and asks the girl for her name. She reveals she doesn't have one, so Rude decides to name her Luna, and she likes the name. The scene shifts again to the two of them having dinner in the forest. Rude mentions that they should reach Avantia the next day, so they should get some rest. He cleans up the dishes, and Luna notices some monsters approaching. She manages to easily defeat them. Rude is surprised by Luna's abilities and believes she might be an illegally created homunculus. Unlike other homunculi, Luna possesses willpower and emotions, and she's capable of fighting. Normally, illegally created homunculi are disposed of, but Rude can't abandon her, as her frightened expression reminds him of his sister, Manisha. Luna apologizes for breaking Rude's pot, and he reassures her that it's not a problem. He wonders why Luna didn't defeat the forest snake if she's so strong. Luna explains that she's skilled in magic but lacks melee combat skills. Rude asks if she has any magic skills, and Luna mentions having a skill that enhances magic, as well as the Identify skill. Rude is surprised to hear about Luna's rare Identify skill. He tells her that it's so uncommon that only one other person in the neighboring kingdom possessed it, and they recently passed away. Now, Luna is the only one with this skill, and Rude asks if she can use it to identify his skills. Luna agrees and touches Rude to identify his skills. She reveals that he has 4 skills. The first is a skill called Healthy Body, which makes him immune to status effects and enhances his natural healing. The second is Provoke, which allows him to draw an enemy's attention towards himself. Then there's Life Conversion, enabling him to convert his depleted Absorb Shield into strength. Rude thinks that Life Conversion must be an offensive skill, and realizes that some skills can only be activated if he understands them. Luna mentions the 4th skill, Shield of Sacrifice, which allows Rude to treat the absorbed shield of his allies as his own and increases the toughness of both him and his ally. Rude comes to understand that his absorbed shield was depleting because he was unknowingly taking damage for his party members. He's amazed that the problem of his unknown skills has been resolved so easily and expresses his gratitude to Luna. The next day, they arrive in Avantia, and Rude realizes that he was kicked out of his party due to his skills' unknown effects. However, he now knows he possesses ultimate skills to protect his allies, and he can return with his head held high. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoy it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for next episode.